It was a small studio apartment in Seoul, where a 22-year-old student named Hannah lived alone. She was tutoring a boy from her neighborhood who missed his last bus home. Feeling awkward but kind, she let him sleep on a blanket beside her bed. Around 2 a.m., the boy gently shook her awake. "I'm hungry," he whispered, glancing nervously at the door. Hannah told him there was instant ramen in the kitchen, but he insisted they go outside for food, right now. His voice sounded urgent, almost scared. Hannah was confused, but something in his eyes felt serious. Once outside, he finally said it. "There's a man under your bed." She froze, her stomach dropped. The boy had seen the man when he dropped his phone and looked under. He didn't want to scare her inside the apartment. She called the police from the street immediately. They found a man curled up, silent, holding a knife. He had broken in hours earlier while she was tutoring and had been hiding the entire time. The man didn't say a word, he just stared at the officers while they pulled him out. Hannah never spent another night in that apartment. Jake and his cousin were driving through a back road deep in rural Arkansas. They had taken a shortcut that GPS warned was unmaintained. The trees got denser, the air still. Then they saw them, 3 bodies lying across the road. Like a T first, it looked like a car crash. But there was no wreck, no debris, just silence. Jake stopped the car, confused, but his cousin whispered, "Go around." Now, something felt wrong as they edged around the bodies. They saw it. Movement behind the trees that they could see at least 4 men. One had a bat. The bodies began to sit up. Jake floored the gas. The car jolted as it skimmed past the edge of the ditch. Something hit the back window, but didn't shatter it. They didn't stop until they reached a gas station 40 miles away. When they reported it, police said this wasn't the first time. Locals call it the Trap Road. Authorities believe it's a robbery setup. Fake bodies used to lure people out, but they never catch the group, and Jake never drives that way again. It was supposed to be a peaceful weekend. 2 brothers on a fishing trip in northern Michigan. They set up camp by the lake, built a small fire, and laughed about old memories. Everything felt calm until the sun went down. Around 1:30 a.m., the older brother sat up in his sleeping bag. He heard something. At first, just movement in the trees. Then came the scream that IT wasn't an animal, IT was a woman, screaming, loud, terrified, begging. But there was no one else for miles. They radioed for help, but there was no signal. Then it happened again, louder, closer to the scream that cut through the silence like a blade. Both brothers grabbed flashlights and moved toward the sound, yelling out that in no response. Just silence, then rustling. Suddenly, the screaming started again, directly behind them. But when they turned, no one was there, not even footprints. They ran back to camp that didn't speak, didn't sleep, left everything behind at sunrise. Emily was heading home late from a study group when she noticed her phone wasn't in her bag. She retraced her steps, but couldn't find it anywhere. Her friend offered to call it, and someone answered. The voice on the other end wasn't hers, that IT was deep. "Slow. Male. She can't talk right now," he said, then hung up. They called again. This time, no one picked up. Then Emily got a text from her own number. "Stop calling." Emily called her mom and rushed home, terrified. But when she checked her iCloud location, her phone was still moving. That IT was 2 blocks behind her and getting closer. She and her mom called the police to be why the time officers arrived. The signal had stopped in an alley. The phone was lying face down, cracked. There was no one nearby, but Emily noticed something chilling. The last photo taken wasn't by her. It was of her walking home. This day. She doesn't know who answered her phone. Or how they knew her name. But she never walked home alone again. Rachel had just moved into her new apartment, a cozy 1-bedroom in a quiet part of town. Her neighbor across the hall, Mr. Dunn, seemed overly friendly from day one. He always knew when she was home, and when she wasn't. She brushed it off. Just a weird old man, probably lonely. But soon little things started going missing. A necklace, a scarf, even a half-eaten yogurt. Rachel started locking her bedroom at night. One evening, she came home and felt watched. Her cat was hissing at the closet. She opened it and screamed. Mr. Dunn was inside, crouched between her coats, clutching something. He whispered, "I just wanted to be close." She ran, locked the door, and called 911. When police arrived, he was still there, calm, quiet, like it was normal. He had a small knife and her missing things in a bag. Later, she learned he'd been arrested before for stalking a previous tenant. He'd picked her apartment before she even moved in. He had a key copy. Rachel moved out that same week. She never looked in a closet the same way again. And she never speaks to neighbors now, no matter how friendly they seem.